if you enjoy what you're doing, if you're getting a very successful show, then it's worth the work. And he said, well, have you ever thought about trying the acting field, becoming an actor? And I said, no, really, I'd done a movie with Bruce Lee.
Legendary action hero and Hollywood heavyweight Chuck Norris is also a monetary behemoth. Even his own family was shocked by the money he covertly amassed as you watched him throw those famed roundhouse kicks on TV. It would be interesting to learn more about Chuck's fortune, which includes his many automobiles and excellent real estate holdings. Come along as we uncover the truth about Chuck Norris's astonishing fortune and the remarkable path that brought it to him. A thorough understanding of his background, family, and early years is necessary before delving into his rise to fame, fortune, and independence, as well as the reasons for his covert wealth creation. Incredible adaptability and an unyielding will characterized Chuck Norris. Since his birth on March 10, 1940, in the little hamlet of Ryan, Oklahoma, Chuck has gone on an incredible adventure, becoming famous all around the world. Wilma and Ray D. Norris are the ancestors of this person. Dr. Ray D. was more than simply a dad. He served in the Army during World War II, was an expert mechanic, and navigated the ups and downs of life as a bus driver and truck driver, respectively. Chuck is proud of his mixed Irish and Cherokee ancestry, which gives him a distinct personality. Curiously, Chuck wasn't given a name at random. He was named after Carlos Berry, the preacher who was his father's pastor. Wieland and Aaron have younger brothers named Chuck. Tragically, the Norris family was unprepared for what destiny had in store for them. Tragically, Chuck's younger brother Wieland's gloomy prophecy came true in 1970 when Juan died before he was 27. When Chuck was 16 years old, his parents divorced. Chuck was whisked away from his cozy Ryan, Oklahoma home and into the vast prairies of Kansas and, finally, the sunny beaches of California. After Chuck, his brothers, and their mother started a new chapter in their lives, they left behind the pieces of a broken family. Chuck paints a gloomy picture of his youth. He wasn't the most talented athlete growing up. He never led his team to victory. Chuck, in contrast, was unremarkable in the classroom, an introvert and not very athletic. The difficulties Chuck already faced in life were exacerbated by Ray, his father. Chuck was humiliated by Ray's propensity to binge drink for extended periods of time. As a result of his troubled childhood, Chuck was an introvert even as a young man. The extraordinary ascension of Chuck was built upon the principles of discipline and hard effort that were strongly ingrained in his upbringing. What makes Chuck unique, though, is not just his heroism on film, but also his incredible business sense. Chuck Norris is known for his roundhouse kicks. How did he become a financial tycoon? Chuck Norris has left behind an intriguing financial legacy, and let's explore that together. In 1958, Chuck Norris embarked on his path by enlisting as an air policeman in the United States Air Force. His extraordinary odyssey began with his first deployment at Osan Air Base in South Korea. In Korea, Norris became known as Chuck and started studying in Tang Soo Do, a style of martial arts that would later influence him to create Chun Kuk Do, a style that is applicable everywhere. Chuck came back to the U.S. after serving in Korea and kept his job as an air policeman at March Air Force Base in California. The tale, nevertheless, was far from over. After serving as an airman first class for 8 years, Norris decided to retire in August 1962. What followed was just as astounding. In Torrance, California, Chuck was put on the list of those who might become police officers. He did something very remarkable while he waited. He opened a martial arts school. What was once a game of waiting became a game of winning. Chuck was a fierce competitor in addition to being a martial artist. His voyage, however, was not without of obstacles. He was defeated by Joe Louis and Alan Steen in his inaugural 2 tournaments. Nevertheless, Chuck remained determined and continued to hone his abilities despite these setbacks. In 1967, Norris was doing more than just taking part. He was winning. In a karate tournament, he triumphed against Vic Moore to claim the title. After 7 matches, Chuck finally met Skipper Mullins in the last match, and he came out on top. The All-American Karate Tournament held by S. Henry Cho in Madison Square Garden on June 24th was a watershed moment. After overcoming Joe Louis, Norris succeeded Julio LaSalle and became the champion. Just think about all the thrills. Although Chuck was demonstrating his martial arts skills, he was still working throughout the day. He started a network of karate schools while employed for Northrop Corporation. Who did he let into his school? Famous people. Donnie and Marie Osmond, Steve and Chad McQueen, Bob Barker, Priscilla Presley, and the martial arts world of Chuck were all a part of it. Fighting Louis Delgado in 1968 was Chuck's 10th and last defeat of his career. Chuck, however, made a full recovery on November 24, 1968. After suffering a defeat, he exacted revenge by winning the professional middleweight karate championship. For 6 years in a row, he clung to it. On April 1, 1969, Chuck participated in a round-robin competition to defend his All-American Karate Championship title. He also celebrated April Fool's Day. After his second consecutive Champions Tournament victory, Chuck retired unbeaten. Bruce Lee was one of the wonderful people Chuck encountered on this fantastic tour. A martial artist from the Green Hornet? Oh yeah, together they made martial arts history as they became fast friends and training partners. In the early 1970s, Chuck Norris's path took a turn for the film. Picture this. In 1972, Chuck Norris took center stage as Bruce Lee's opponent in Way of the Dragon, a film that broke box office records in Hong Kong and was dubbed Return of the Dragon in the U.S. Many consider this film to be the turning point in Chuck Norris's career. It was more than just a film, it changed the game. Looking ahead to 1973, Chuck expands his acting career with Jonathan Kaplan's The Student Teachers. Sure, it wasn't a martial arts epic, but hey, every path has its turns, right? What happened to Chuck in the end? You'll have to watch to find out. The story takes a surprising turn when Chuck's friend and martial arts pupil Steve McQueen enters the picture. Chuck was encouraged by McQueen to enroll in acting classes at MGM when he discovered his aptitude in 1974. The same year, Chuck portrayed the lead antagonist in Lo Wei's Young Yellow-Faced Tiger. In this role, he plays a tyrannical drug lord in San Francisco who has complete control over the criminal underground, including the police force. A teenage police officer fights corruption in this inspiring story. In 1981, the United States finally got its hands on the low-budget martial arts action film Slaughter in San Francisco. It had been in development for a while, but the wait may have been worthwhile. The film capitalizes on Chuck's rising star power. After all, it's better late than never, right? In 1975, Chuck took a break from acting to write his first book, Winning Tournament Karate. This book is more than just a kick-and-punch manual. It's a practical guide to competition training for martial artists of all levels. Chuck details speedy assaults, conditioning, and fighting drills. Now let's talk about Chuck's breakthrough performance in 1977's Breaker Breaker. He chose this one after turning down several offers for martial arts films. Why, you ask? Chuck wanted stories with heart and emotional realism. And guess what? This low-budget film turned out to be a big hit. Sometimes an underdog steals the show, but the real game-changer arrives in 1978 with Good Guys Wear Black. Chuck considers this his first major lead role, and boy did it turn heads. No studio wanted to take it on. So what does Chuck do? He and his producers took matters into their own hands and four-walled it. That means renting out the theaters and taking whatever money comes in. And guess what? Good Guys Wear Black defied the odds by grossing an astonishing $18 million at the box office, despite Chuck made his debut as a ninja in the 1980 film The Octagon. This time, the studio went all out with American cinema releasing and distributing the film. The result? A massive $19 million at the box office. Chuck was officially on fire, and the studios took notice. Fasten your seatbelts, because in 1983, Chuck starred in Lone Wolf McQuade for Orion Pictures, directed by Carver. Picture Chuck as a reckless yet fearless Texas Ranger confronting an arms dealer played by David Carradine. This global blockbuster was praised by film critics who often compared it to Sergio Leone's sophisticated spaghetti westerns. And guess what? This film paved the way for Chuck's eventual hit television series, Walker, Texas Ranger. Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 stars and predicted that the character of McQuaw. Chuck wasn't just dominating the big screen, he was also showcasing his literary skills. In 1983, he published a book on workouts titled Toughen Up, the Chuck Norris Fitness System. Why not share the secrets of staying fit and fierce? And here's a fun fact for all you gamers. Chuck's martial arts skills made their way into the virtual world. The same year, Zonox released the video game Chuck Norris Super Kicks. Play as Chuck and rescue a hostage. Simple, right? When the Chuck Norris name license expired, it was renamed Kung Fu Super Kicks. Fast forward to 1984, and Chuck played Colonel James Braddock in Missing in Action, the first of a series of POW rescue fantasies. This was his first collaboration with Cannon Films, and it was a huge success. The film was a hit, and Chuck became Cannon's brightest star during the 1980s. Hold on to your hats because the prequel, Missing in Action 2: The Beginning, was released in 1985. Colonel James Braddock's backstory was revealed, and the audience couldn't get enough. But that's not all. There's also Code of Silence, a crime drama that received amazing reviews and performed well at the box office. Chuck was on a roll, and fans couldn't get enough of his on-screen heroics. Delta Force premiered in theaters on February 14, 1986, co-starring the legendary Lee Marvin. Need we say more? Elite Special Forces fighting terrorists? Box office success? Absolutely. Chuck was not only a big-screen sensation, but also a hit in animation. Karate Commandos debuted on television with Chuck voicing a cartoon version of himself leading a government team of agents. 6 episodes of animated action ensued, with Marvel even producing a comic book adaptation. This was Chuck expanding his world in a whole new way. But Chuck didn't stop there. In November 1986, he ventured into new territory with Firewalker. In this J. La Thompson-directed film, he co-starred as an adventurer alongside Louis Gossett Jr. Chuck added author to his list of accomplishments in 1987 with the New York Times bestseller, The Secret of Inner Strength, My Story. This book offered a glimpse into Chuck's self-improvement journey since becoming a martial arts legend, aiming to inspire others. Colonel James Braddock returned in 1988 with Braddock, Missing in Action 3. The action-packed adventure continued with Chuck's brother Aaron Norris taking over as director. Chuck wasn't just revisiting past roles. He was expanding his repertoire. In the 90s, Chuck had already amassed a $500 million fortune from his films, which had earned over $500 million globally. Critics began to compare him to Clint Eastwood and the late great Bruce Lee, with some calling him the blonde Bruce Lee for his work in martial arts films. And what about his solitary character, which echoed the iconic Dirty Harry? Chuck Norris's martial arts system, formerly known as Chun Kuk Do, is now recognized as the Chuck Norris system. This system, founded by Norris in 1990, was initially based on his training in Tang Soo Do during his military service in Korea. During his competitive fighting career, Norris expanded the system's scope by incorporating elements from various martial arts, including Shotokan, Goju Ryu, Shito Ryu, American Kenpo, Enshin Kaikan, Kyokushin, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Arnis, Taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, and Hapkido. The Chuck Norris system, also known as Chun Kuk Do, now emphasizes self-defense, competition, weapons, grappling, and fitness. Every summer in Las Vegas, Nevada, the United Fighting Arts Federation, UFAF, holds a training conference and the Chun Kuk Do World Championship Tournament. The Chuck Norris system is based on a code of honor that includes principles like reaching one's full potential in all areas, learning from one's mistakes, and moving on to greater accomplishments, and cultivating love, happiness, and loyalty within one's family, among many more. Like many traditional martial arts, the Chuck Norris system includes the practice of forms, Korean Hyung and Japanese kata. The majority of the system's forms are adapted from Korean Tang Soo Do and Taekwondo, Japanese Shito Ryu, and Shotokan Karate, Goju Ryu Karate, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, American Kenpo, and Kyokushinkai. The system also includes 2 organization-specific introductory forms, 2 organization-specific empty hand forms, and 1 organization-specific weapon form, UFAF Nunchuk form, UFAF Bow form, UFAF Sai forms. The United Fighting Arts Federation has graduated over 3,000 black belts in its history and currently has nearly 4,000 active members worldwide. There are approximately 90 member schools in the US, Mexico, Norway, and Paraguay. In a story reminiscent of a young love, Chuck Norris, at the age of 18, tied the knot with Diane K. Holchek, his high school sweetheart of 17 years, in December 1958. Their story began in Torrance, California, where they had met in 1956. In 1962, their union bore fruit with the arrival of their first child, Mike. But life's unexpected turns revealed themselves when Chuck fathered a daughter from an extramarital affair in 1963, adding complexity to their family dynamic. Despite these obstacles, the Norris clan welcomed a second son, Eric, in 1964. Chuck and Diane ended their 30-year marriage in 1989, a year after Chuck and Diane physically separated while filming The Delta Force 2. Life's challenges were common for Chuck and his resiliency, but as the saying goes, as one chapter closed, another opened. In November 1998, Chuck found love again with Gina O'Kelly, a former model. Gina brought 2 children from her previous marriage into their blended family, and on August 30, 2001, she gave birth to twins, adding even more joy to their household. However, the story of Chuck's family took an unbelievable twist. In a touching interview with Mary Hart of Entertainment Tonight on September 22, 2004, Chuck opened up about a period in his life when he didn't meet his illegitimate daughter from a previous relationship until she was 26 years old. Interestingly, she had found out that Chuck was her father when she was 16 years old, but she didn't get in touch with him until 1990. A year after Chuck's divorce from Diane Holch, through a letter. The unexpected turns of events in life never cease to amaze. Chuck Norris, the legendary roundhouse kicker and martial arts expert, is renowned not only for his acting chops and impressive bank account, but also for his incredible wealth. How did he become so wealthy? Well, it's a whopping $80 million. You might be wondering how he got there, so let's take a look. First of all, Chuck's acting career, businesses, and endorsement deals all contributed to his fortune. But wait, there's more. Chuck also had a sizable real estate portfolio, which included a ranch in Texas, a beachfront mansion in California, and a house in North Carolina. Talk about living the dream. Now here's something interesting. Chuck has put his Dallas, Texas property up for sale for $1.2 million. Can you imagine owning a piece of Chuck's legacy? Let's take a closer look at this stunning Texas gem. The ranch home, which he built in 1975 and expanded and renovated, boasts 4 spacious bedrooms, 7 full baths, 2 half baths, a media room, a home gym with a Chuck Norris total gym, a patio by a sparkling pool, a 3-car garage, and a 900-square-foot detached studio. That's luxury living Chuck Norris style. In addition to his acting career, Chuck Norris earned a substantial fortune from his martial arts training. He even established a martial arts school in California, where he taught both the general public and A-list celebrities. Now let's talk about fitness. Chuck had a genuine interest in people's well-being, and he turned that interest into a successful business by starting his own line of exercise equipment. People from all over the world became Chuck Norris Total Gym members, which added a substantial amount to his net worth. But Chuck's diverse portfolio doesn't stop there. He's also a successful author, with books on martial arts, self-improvement, and personal development that have sold millions of copies worldwide, further boosting his financial success. Now let's take a detour, or should I say hop into Chuck's rides. Chuck's truck Norris is a beast on 4 wheels, built on the 2012 Chevrolet Silverado. Originally offered at a low price, the modifications on this bad boy make it impossible to get close to that figure. It's certainly one of the quirkiest things on wheels, with a fading U.S. flag wrapped around the exterior. When Chuck isn't cruising in his truck Norris, he's typically seen driving his Ford Ranger. Yes, even tough guys have their preferred rides. But that's not all. Chuck also owns a stunning 2014 Cadillac Escalade. Picture a glossy black exterior, a bold grille, and a powerful body. Chuck knows how to make an entrance in style. That wraps up Chuck Norris's financial journey and assets, which include real estate empires, luxurious residences, exercise equipment, and impressive wheels. But, keep watching to know how Chuck spends most of his finances in philanthropy. Let's delve into Chuck's black belts, and trust me, there are plenty of them. A 10th degree black belt in Chunuk Do, a 9th degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo, a 5th degree black belt in Karate, a 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a black belt in Judo. It's like a spectrum of martial arts mastery. Chuck stepped into the ring in 1967 and clinched the sparring grand champions at S. Henry Cho's All-American Championship. And guess what? He repeated the feat the following year, proving that Chuck wasn't a one-hit wonder. Chuck reached a significant milestone in 1968 when he secured the Professional Middleweight Karate Championship. Hold on, he didn't just win it, he held onto it for an incredible 6 years. Talk about dominating the game. Fast forward to 1969, and Chuck's trophy cabinet got a little crowded as he bagged karate's Triple Crown for the most tournament wins that year. But that wasn't all. He also snagged the Fighter of the Year award from Black Belt magazine. Double trouble. In 1982, Chuck was not only a martial arts master but also the Action Star of the Year, having won the prestigious award at the Showas Convention. Hollywood was beginning to take notice of this phenomenon. In 1989, Chuck was honored with his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which is a fitting tribute to an entertainer who has left an indelible mark. In 1992, Chuck was recognized for his global appeal when he was named International Box Office Star of the Year at the Showas Convention. He wasn't just a national hero, he was a sensation around the world. But that wasn't all. In 1997, he was named a Texas Legend, which is a special award from the Lone Star Film and Television Awards. It appears that Texas has discovered Chuck. In 1999, Chuck was inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Martial Arts History Museum. It was a well-deserved recognition for a man who had devoted his life to the art of combat. Chuck continued to receive accolades, including a 1999 nomination for Favorite Actor in a Drama from the TV Guide Awards. But that wasn't all. He went on to receive the Grace Prize Award for Inspirational Acting in Television. Chuck wasn't just an action star, he was an inspiration. The World Karate Union Hall of Fame honored Chuck with the Golden Lifetime Achievement Award. In July 2000, a culmination of a lifetime of dedication and skill was acknowledged in one shining moment. Chuck received the American Veteran Award's Veteran of the Year Award 2001 for his service to veterans. It wasn't all about the kicks anymore. In March 2007, Commandant General James T. Conway appointed Chuck as an honorary United States Marine. Imagine Chuck Norris as a Marine. He'd be a formidable opponent. In 2010, he won the Lifetime Achievement Award at Action Fest. Not only was he earning honors, but he was also solidifying his place in martial arts history. Chuck was named an honorary Texan in 2017 for his years spent on his ranch outside Navasota, Texas. His portrayals as Texas Ranger in Lone Wolf McQuade and Ranger Cordell Walker in the TV series Walker, Texas Ranger earned him the title of Honorary Texan in many hearts. And if that wasn't enough, Jesse Bowen of the American Martial Arts Alliance produced 2 versions of a book honoring Chuck called Martial Arts Masters and Pioneers Biography, Chuck Norris, Giving B. Chuck Norris, known for his action-packed Hollywood career and martial arts prowess, has stepped out of the shadows and into the political arena. His decision to align himself with the Republican Party demonstrated his political acumen, which was evident in his vocal support and substantial financial backing. These factors had a lasting impact on numerous political contests. Norris's steadfast loyalty to the Republican Party along with his tough guy image and reputation for discipline and strength, appealed to a large portion of the conservative base. As a result, political candidates eagerly sought his endorsement, realizing it could strengthen their campaigns. In addition, Norris's financial contributions were invaluable to Republican politicians, providing tangible support at both the federal and state levels. In 2012, Chuck Norris made a profound decision, putting his wife Gina's health first rather than the glitter of Hollywood. While Gina was battling serious health problems, Chuck devoted himself to her care. During this time away, Chuck became a loving husband and a fierce advocate for the cause of gadolinium toxicity, a serious health concern. Gadolinium is a rare earth metal used in magnetic resonance imaging, MRIs, and can cause health problems. By speaking out, Chuck demonstrated his dedication to his family and the larger community facing similar health issues. His passionate advocacy for this issue highlights his personal connection to the harmful effects of gadolinium exposure. As he stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight, Chuck Norris's actions revealed his priorities. He was determined to use his platform to bring attention to the dangers of gadolinium exposure, which was a blessing in disguise for those suffering from health problems associated with this metal. By doing so, he helped bring attention to a pressing health issue and provided emotional support to those who were suffering from it. In 1990, Chuck Norris became a real-life superhero when he founded the United Fighting Arts Federation and Kickstart Kids, two significant programs. However, these organizations are not only about martial arts, they are also about giving at-risk children a chance at a better future. Chuck saw the transformational power of martial arts in developing self-control, concentration, and confidence in children who were struggling. He founded these programs to redirect these kids' energy away from drugs and towards something positive, believing that they can create a better future for themselves. Interestingly, a portion of the profits from his Navasota, Texas property, where he bottles water, goes toward environmental causes and Kickstart Kids. But that's not all Chuck has done as a superhero. He is well known for his charitable work and has generously supported organizations like Funds for Kids, the Veterans Administration, the United Way, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Chuck is not only a martial arts icon but also a symbol of compassion, and he actively participates in fundraising events. Looking back at his past, Chuck's commitment to helping hospitalized war veterans comes from his time serving in the United States Air Force in Korea. His personal experiences led him to become a spokesperson for the United States Veterans Administration, fighting for important issues like health care and pensions. In 2001, Chuck was honored as Veteran of the Year at the American Veteran Awards. A recognition of his unfaltering commitment to Chuck's compassion transcends national borders. In India, he is a pillar of support for the Vijay Amritraj Foundation, which aids individuals affected by disease, grief, and adversity. The foundation's work has been transformative, assisting pediatric HIV homes in Delhi, a blind school in Karnataka, and a mission in Cochin that cares for HIV-infected adults and individuals with mental illness. Chuck's global impact is a testament to his dedication to using his fame and resources to effect positive change in the lives of children, veterans, and those in need worldwide. Fighting for a better world extends beyond the confines of a ring. So, the next time Chuck Norris's name comes up, remember that behind the martial arts prowess and action-packed movies lies a man with a heart of gold. Please click on one of the following videos to learn more about your other favorite celebs. I appreciate you taking the time to view this video.